Bloody hell, another red light. I have a red light curse. On the good old KLR, old donkey. Yeah, I'm not sure what road we were going up, but I think it was about to get more adventurous. Probably more adventurous than my skills. Oh, no worries. Area closed. Started out as rain. Now we got hail. Hello. Yeah, today has not gone as planned. I kind of picked a spot late last night looking on my Gaia Maps app and found Paradise Falls. I thought, yeah, that looks like an easy ride to get into. Unfortunately, there's a section of privately owned ground, and the owners granted permission for use except for motorized vehicles are not allowed. I really didn't feel like hiking about 6-7 miles in today. This was supposed to be a quick, easy trip. So, went to plan B and flipped around, headed back. And again, ran into a closed section of private owned. So, plan C, run up back up into Flesher Pass, or over Flesher Pass, and find a campsite. But the rainstorm caught me. I ran in from pretty good downpours. And then we had hail for about 8-9 miles coming up the pass. That's a fun time on a bike. Did find a spot. At the moment, I'm just kicking it under some trees until I'm kind of letting the rain calm down a little bit. It's getting better. And we'll look at picking a spot and pitching a tarp. it is time to get out of these riding pants. Maybe. They kept me dry, I think. Let's get unbuckled and we're going to find out. My chair's trying to flip me out. Man, it has done nothing but rain. Man, we had big thunder boomers, lots of lightning, ran in some hail on the highway getting here. And dumbass me, I forgot to tuck my shirt into my pants while riding through the rain, and boy, that did wick up some water. Hoping I can get that dry tonight. Well, my feet are dry. Well, I'm about to break this chair. All right. My legs are dry, and like I said, I rode through a hell of a rainstorm. Sat in the trees, avoiding the rain for a while before I finally said, hell with it. So, of course, I get to the point of having camp set up. It decides to stop raining. Well, slight sprinkle. But yeah, these Tourmaster pants, they did their job for a budget value adventure pants and jacket. Let's see how this leg looks. They're definitely, with the thermal liners and the waterproof liner, they are definitely very warm. All right, let's shut these here and look at this leg. I took the knee pads out of those pants. I like my knee pads to be on my knees, not down on my shins. So I tend to wear some of these O'Neill. So far they've held up pretty good. I got no complaints. My knees are still not broken, so I am dry. A little sweaty, a little hot, but dry. I did not bring camp shoes. I don't think. No, I did not. Well, my camp shoes are just slippers. As much as I hate Crocs, they might be a pretty good camp shoe. Lightweight, instant drying, no fabric. Oh, Crocs. Who would ever thought I'd even consider a pair of them damn things? So my plan with the tent tonight, just depending what weather does, I may just drop this door, both the poles, and lower the tent down and button it up. And then I'll probably strap the two ends, kind of cinch it all together. Kind of first night with this tarp. It's a $41 tarp from Amazon. I have to look at the name. It's Free Rider or Free Soldier. Free Soldier is the name of the tent. Gourmet food tonight. Pork flavor. Not a big fan, but I'll probably add a pack of this to my ramen. It's another 80 calories and another 13 grams of proteins. Top ramen's probably the only place that tastes good is in the mountains, right? It's not a bad food. It's a good camp food. And then I added that pack of chicken to it. I didn't take time to prep any veggies. Maybe next trip. Bon appetit. Well, it's been a day. I'm gonna go climb in my tent. And, well, my tarp. And I'm just gonna sit and watch that fire run down. Just enjoy the ambiance. Like I said, I'm getting ready for bed. I'm new to tarps. I guess history repeats. When we were young kids, we didn't have much money, so we started with tarps. And as soon as we could get into a tent, we did. Here I am, almost 48 years later from then, back in a tarp. I don't know, we'll see if it's kind of neat. But I do like, it does take me back to being a kid, where I can sit and watch the fire and the ambiance. And up here, the bugs aren't terrible, so. I wanted to show something else. My wife got me a gift, one of my birthday gifts. Down-filled booties. Right often my feet tend to get a little chilly. Normally I wear just a heavy pair of wool socks when I'm out camping, especially in cooler weather. If you're interested in these, Z-Pack, look them up. I don't know if they're warm. They look like they'll be warm. Tonight's the first night trying them. And then they do got a bungee cord. You can cinch them on. They're goofy looking, but granted, I don't know if I'll use them much in the summer, but come late fall, winter camping. Another thing I do to help keep feet warm, in a sleeping bag, empty space can make you cold. So a lot of times I just take my shirt, throw it down there with my feet, and it just helps absorb some of that extra volume. So I definitely should have nice warm feet tonight. Since I'm in my tent, what I'm doing, I ran an extra guy line just to kind of help hold the wall out. Then I got my flex tail mini pump lantern, my keys for the bike so I always know where they're at, flashlight, and my Zoleo. Normally I like to have up higher to hold my lantern for better light, you know, but it is what it is on this one. So now I suppose you want to see my view. Check this view out. Sorry about the strobe. Make some breakfast, start breaking down camp. I'll give you a little tour here in just a minute, but I'm gonna get started on breakfast. So one of the items I liked is my Tusk tent pole storage bag. It's very durable, very robust, and I think I've used it twice for tent poles. But what I like about it is the size. It allows a 12-ounce can of your choice to fit very nicely in there. And I think you can get about, I'd only pack 3 or 4. And it's pretty full. But it's ideal. Or cans of soup. Anything that's a liquid can, a 12-ounce can that you don't want in your pannier rack, because boy, let me tell you, if you ever have a liquid explosion or leak, I can't say I've had one in my pannier bags, but I have in backpacks throughout the years, so I always try to keep my liquids external. Last thing you need is a beverage opening up and soaking your sleeping bag while you're in transit. Oh, bad news. So we're gonna make some breakfast. Nothing fancy. We're just gonna do some oatmeal. Enjoy my Diet Pepsi. Good. Hard to believe I believe that's good. Yeah. Maybe Kennedy will do something about the poisons in our soda pops. Oh. Again, my trusty MSR pocket rocket. This stove is, I think it's 30 years old. I would have bought this back in like 1990, yeah, had to have been like 1990, maybe 91. Great stove. Just goes and goes and goes. My favorite, least favorite camp kitchen, Sea Summit. It's pretty lightweight. What I like with the Sea Summit is how narrow it is when it's collapsed. It takes up pretty little space actually in my pannier rack on my KLR. My first tried and true kitchen was my MSR. I forget the model. It's a stainless steel nesting bucket pot. Came with like 3 pots. I just carry the one big pot, and the lid is my plate. It's a fry pan. My whole kitchen fit inside of that. My stove, my gas bottle, utensils, shop towel, fire starter, everything stayed in it, nested. Then I've got went to the trade this year, one of those cup mug cooking. I see the appeal, especially if you're just doing water for ramen or freeze-dried meals. So about a week and a half ago, I bought a Summit kit. And it came with 2 bowls, 2 cups, and they're all at the house in my tote. The only thing I don't like is you look at this thin aluminum, you look at it wrong, it distorts. So every time I'm out, and this is the 3rd outing with this, I always seem to have to reshape it so the lid fits. Like I said, my MSR kit, it was one of the first real cook kits I bought, so it's at least 30 years old. I probably bought that back in 1988, 89. And hundreds of trips. I don't know if Sea to Summit will give me that kind of life. I hope so. Another habit to get into, a good habit, put stuff away. Make sure everything has a home. Like my divvy bag always has a fire starter in it. I usually have a lighter in my camp kitchen as well. I like these little micro torches. If you look around, they can get them pretty cheap. I bought this at North 40. I gave like $3, maybe $4 a piece. Way better than a Bic. More likely to fail. Bic lighter will be more reliable, I think. But well, let me give you a tour of my camp setup last night. Now, forgive me, I'm a rookie with using tarps. When we were young lads, of course, we started with a tarp, but as soon as we had some money, we elevated and got into the tent world. Cheap tents, but we got in the tent world, and now here it is. So many years later, I'm back to a tarp. Crazy. So last night, yesterday with the rainstorm and thunderstorm, I just had to find someplace quick. There's my donkey. My new tripod that has a camera mount and a phone mount. I'm digging it. It comes with a Bluetooth wireless shutter button. My little campfire. Of course, most trips I've got my chair and table now. I know, I'm spoiled. So my tarp set up last night, I just kind of had these corners tied down. This is a big tarp and an inexpensive tarp. It's from Amazon, and it's from Free Soldier brand. I don't know if you can read that. I mean, it was a downpour and nothing got wet. I did a little bit of a ground cloth. Keep my pad on and sleeping bag. And my guy line, I ran an extra, kind of down the back wall. I like to have a line on the inside to hang my lantern or gloves. And that helped keep the wall from bouncing onto my sleeping bag during the night. I don't know, maybe there's better ways. But I think I paid $41 on Amazon, and it seems to be pretty well made. My only wish was they would put some tie outs in the middle. I may see if I can add some kind of tie out points in the middle on each side. But I am impressed for $41. And it's big. I have to look. I think it's 11 by 13 feet. Yeah, it's big. Another thing I tend to do, my helmet becomes a junk drawer. I try to toss everything in my helmet I can. And tying it up, I just guy line a few loops back and forth to kind of cinch it in place. And then down to the pegs. And the tent or the tarp did come with 4 stakes and some guy line. But very impressed. So, way I like to tie off my stakes, there's probably a name for this knot. It's a slip knot. I just take my fingers, twist, and push the loop through, and cinch. Oops, 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 oops. Don't let it. So now that I've got a loop, I can set her on my stake, and I can adjust by pulling the tail. I'll get tighter, or you can loosen it, but not very easily. It holds really well. Another nice thing about this knot that I like, when you're done, it just unties itself. The drawback is, to get your tension right, you might have to make your loop somewhere. You might have to play with it 2 or 3 times to get the tension you want, because you're limited to your tail for your loop and tension. And like, it works really well. There's probably better knots. I'm not a knot tying expert. So as I was kind of reviewing, I realized I didn't have a good angle to show my slip knot. So I just take my fingers, make a loop, take my tail, push through, kind of like a bow when you're tying your tennis shoes, and bring it down. And then this tail will adjust your tension. So like I said, you can be limited by the length of your tail, so you may have to tie it a couple times. And again, what I like about it is it's a slip knot, so you just pull the 2 ends and it comes undone. Another tip that I've realized some people are not aware of: a stake can be kind of hard to pull out. Take another stake, put it through your string, and then pull. And wow, I really bent that one. That was a brand new stake. Son of a gun. I'll have to hammer that one out. These are what came with this Free Soldier tarp. These kind of disappointed. We'll straighten it. Not a big deal. Another thing I tend to do, I like having lots of paracord and string. So I probably have it too tight now. I do, it won't fit. But I like to wrap my extra string around some of them. And then I throw them all in my pouch. And then as I'm picking up my tarp or tent, I put all my stakes in one spot. Another tip, take a marker, and if you use a bag for your stakes, take a permanent marker and write how many stakes you have in your bag. Say you have 9 stakes, write 9 on it. And then when you're picking up, breaking camp down, you can count, oh, I've got 8 stakes, I got 1 more to find. I don't know if you're like me, I hate replacing stuff that I've lost. Pisses me off. So I figured talking about knots and guy lines. So a lot of times the way I store my guy lines is I'll fold it in half and I'll bring the two ends up and I'll lay it in my hand, and then I make a figure 8. Just back and forth. And then leave about a good foot, 18 inches of tail. And I'll take that tail and just start making some loops, wrapping it nice and snug. And then as we get to the end, I'll have some tail left over. I just make a loop, just twist it, then slide the bundle through the loop we just made, and just snug it down with the tail. It'll keep your bundles nice and tight, and then when you unwrap it, it doesn't usually turn into a big mess. It's works very well, very simple. I'm about simple. The Giant Loop Cactus 1-gallon canteen. I love this thing, I really do. And then when it's empty, I can just roll it up. Takes up very little space. Yeah, they have larger ones. I think they have a 3-gallon and a 5-gallon. Both of which are kind of big to pack on a bike. Yeah, we're pretty cold, but I want to make sure, without a doubt, there's no embers left. Now we'll dig around a little bit more. Little gas station gourmet here in Lincoln, Montana. They call it a bacon cheeseburger. I don't know, I call it gas station gourmet. Whoop whoop. Oh, Rogers Pass just doesn't disappoint. I always enjoy this ride. Pretty nice view, windy road. Look at that, we got over the Continental Divide and the rain stopped. I typically do not pass on a double yellow. I really don't want to sit behind an RV doing 15 miles an hour.